How to disclose a criminal record when applying for a job. When applying for a job, it is sometimes a legal requirement to disclose if you have a criminal record. For the majority of jobs, you are not legally obligated to disclose a spent criminal conviction. It is important to understand if you are required to disclose this information. The Rehabilitation of Offenders Act permits most convictions and all final warnings, reprimands, and cautions to be classed as spent after a certain length of time. However, some roles will be exempt from this, such as working with children or vulnerable people. In these instances, even a spent conviction will need to be declared. If you are applying for a job and it is required for you to disclose your criminal record, we have a few tips to help. Make sure to disclose information at the point in your application when the employer asks. This will ensure that you have abided by an employer's request. If you are asked to disclose at the point of submitting a CV, or if you choose to disclose at interview stage, it is important to have a written disclosure statement. This helps to ensure you give the correct information about your conviction. It gives you time to construct a fair reflection of the conviction and its relevancy to the job to which you are applying, and it gives you evidence that you have disclosed. When it comes to filling in your CV, it is advised that you do not include any information about your criminal record. Instead, you could write that you are unavailable for work, or you could avoid an obvious gap in your CV altogether by creating a functional CV. This type of CV gives a list of your skills and knowledge rather than a chronological list of your employment, thus drawing less attention to employment gaps. After completing your CV, you need to write your disclosure statement. Like when writing a cover letter, it is important to tailor your disclosure statement to the role. Your conviction may be viewed differently by different employers depending on how related the offence is to the job. Begin by marking your statement as private and confidential. Then, include a short paragraph detailing the job that you would like to apply for. Next, create a paragraph listing your skills and experience that make you a suitable candidate for the role. Then, create a paragraph that includes your disclosure. In this, consider which of the following will be most helpful to include. Is the offence relevant to the job that you are applying for? How serious was the offence? Certain offences can sound more serious than they actually were. Was the offence a one-off or out of character? Were there any influencing factors, such as financial, emotional, relationships, etc., that played a part in the offence? Did the crime happen a long time ago, when you had less responsibilities and therefore less to lose? Have you got multiple convictions for similar crimes? If so, it could be better to group these together rather than writing a long list. How have you changed since this offence? It is important to assure the employer that your attitudes have changed since your conviction and that you will not be a threat to colleagues, clients, or the public. It is important to mindfully create a balance between offering details of your conviction as well as information to do with why you are right for the role. Don't do yourself a disservice by allowing the disclosure to take over the story. If you need further information about disclosing a conviction, there are charities dedicated to providing advice to those with convictions. Web links can be found in the description below.